Hey everyone, it's Kelly and I am back today with a new double page 12 by 12 project life process video. I am working on week 25 in this video and I am using a combination of a few different products. I am using Studio Calico cards along with some embellishments from the Laugh Story Kit by Ali Edwards. If you watched my last Project Life Process video, then you know that I am behind because we recently moved and we are still in the process of getting our house sold. So there's still some work going on there, but that is why I fell so far behind in my project life. So I'm still working in June here and just realizing as I was printing my photos that I wasn't taking a lot of photos. I think when you get busy and you're just doing the same work over and over again, we were, clearing out our house and still working full time, and there just wasn't a whole lot else happening. I just kind of fell off the wagon and taking photos. So I did screenshot a few things, which I'm grateful for. So I have quite a few text message conversations going on in this week's spread, which I think is a great representation of what's happening in your life in a given moment, because it's a conversation that you're having with someone else. And it also brings in another voice into your project life. So I was happy to have those things to use. I'm also documenting a podcast I was listening to. I'm a Today Show watcher. Whenever I'm home in the mornings, that is what I have on in the background. And they had this highlights cartoon drawing of the third hour today on Instagram. And I screenshot that because I remember looking at highlights when I was a kid. And I just thought it was a fun thing to include into the album. So I've mentioned a few things that I'm documenting here, but I'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about some of the other photos that I have going on. On the left-hand side of the spread, as always, my title card will be in the upper left-hand corner. The photo that I have next to that is two collaged photos that they're two 3x4s on a 4x6 print. And it is a picture of my stamp chamois. It is the stamp chamois that I retired and then the new one that I opened. I could not believe how dirty my previous one had gotten. It was well loved and well used, but she was starting to stink a little bit. She was smelling a little musty. So it was time to replace her. So I did have a spare in one of my drawers. So I pulled it out and have been using that one ever since. I also have a book review that of a book that I read. It was the Beach Read book, and it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I just included some journaling on my thoughts on the book. I went back into Goodreads to check to see what I wrote about the book. I thought that was a good way to actually include journaling that it was in the moment journaling. It wasn't something that I was reflecting on. It was how I felt when I finished the book. And I thought that was a good way to document that story. I also have a picture of our cat. He is on our couch. And if you look really close at the photo, there is a fly that is also on the couch. And he is an inside cat only. He's terrified to go outside, so he only stays inside. And he's just not, we just laugh at him because he's not a very good hunter. He chatters to everything he sees. So he talks to these bugs when they're in our house when he's trying to get them. And it's just funny to us, I guess, because we know his personality. But I snapped that photo of him and wanted to include it. I have a filler card next to that, and then the Today Show screenshot that I already talked about. In the bottom left-hand corner, I have a picture of me reading in bed, and that was actually a photo. I asked my husband to take that, and I can't remember exactly why I asked him to take it, but he snapped that picture of me. One of the dogs was in bed with me, and I was just reading, and it was just kind of a snapshot of what our bedtime routine looks like. And then next to that, I have a screenshot of a text message that I took of a conversation I was having with a friend of mine that actually included a screenshot of a conversation I was having with my husband. So it's a screenshot within a screenshot. But I tell the story of that next to it in the journaling card that has that teehee die cut on there, and that is from the Ali Edwards Laugh Story Kit. I am going to add the stamp, The Good Life, next to the photo of me and my dog. The top right-hand corner is the right-hand side of the spread in the left-hand corner pocket is a picture that I took of me, my husband, and my son. We were out to eat. I have another screenshot text message between me and my dad, and then just the journaling that goes along with it, along with the die cut. I have another photo of my husband and my son at dinner, and they were looking at video game stuff on my phone. He was looking up some stats or something to talk to my husband about. And then I have journaling card that has the word laugh stamped at the top. And then I have a story about the screenshot that is next to that. That was a conversation between me and my husband. I have the podcast screenshot. Again, lots of screenshots in this week's spread, which I think is totally fine. In the bottom left-hand pocket on the right side of the spread, I have a photo of the May Traveler's Notebook that I created, which I do have a flip through on my YouTube channel if you're interested in checking that out. But that was the first Traveler's Notebook I had completed, so I was really excited about it. And then as you can see, I just have a filler card in the last pocket. Now I'm working on my title card. I am using some alpha stickers from Pink Fresh Studio. This is from the Everyday Musings collection. I've had these a really long time and have never touched them. I happened to see them peeking out of my thicker stash as I was working on this spread and thought that the colors looked like they would go really well with the colors that I have in the cards this week. My only problem with this alpha set was the number 2 was green, and I did not have green anywhere on my spread as far as the journaling cards or the filler cards. I do have some green throughout the spread with the text message conversations. My chamois has a little bit of that green going on. There's a little bit of green in some of the screenshots as far as the Today Show screenshot. There's some green in the dress on one of the journaling cards. So I thought that I had enough green going on that it didn't really look like it stood out like a sore thumb. And I really wanted to use these, if I'm being honest. I wanted to put a dent in my stash. That's one of my goals for this year, is to really use up some product. So I just decided to go with it. So I'm going to use that as my week number. And then I just used a roller date stamp to add the weeks or the date for the week. And then I'm going to use just a pen to draw a little heart in between the 2 different dates. The Good Life stamp did not come out super crisp, and rather than risking it and trying to double stamp it, I decided just to grab my Sharpie and just fill in the area that did not stamp super crisp and super clear. And here come the still shots of this week's spread. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love it for you to give me a thumbs up or leave a comment. I can't tell you how much I enjoy reading your guys' comments. It just really, I think that the paper crafting community on YouTube, it's just something so special, and I love forming connections with those of you who watch the videos. So please leave me a comment. I always enjoy reading them, and I do try to respond to them promptly. I am much better at responding to the comments when I'm actively creating content. So if you've commented on a past video and it took me a while to get back with you, that's just because I don't actively think about people watching older videos. I know people do, but I just tend to be more aware of comments coming in when I'm posting new content. So I just want to thank you all again so much for being part of this community, and I hope to be back again soon with a new video. I hope you all have a great week.